So here we go. And hello, everybody. It's Dr. Hank, and welcome to Mastermind Magnets. And so just imagine you're a magnet and a big, strong one. And with our thoughts, that we get to attract all the things that we desire. And you're going to absolutely love this session today that we are going to be talking about all kinds of great things. We're going to take a broader perspective, kind of like God's perspective, if you will, to be able to kind of look at the world changes. And the reason why we need to be up to speed on this information is because the top consideration when selecting an agent or real estate professional is their relevant local and national expertise. And so this is going to put you, today is literally going to put you, give you all the great information that you need. I even have scripts that I can share with you. I won't go through every one today, but we're going to have some scripts that are just amazing scripts and everything that you could imagine on how to talk to a prospect, talk to a listing person, buyer, just all kinds of things. So you're going to really love that. And then we're going to go fly with your angels. That we're going to literally become magnets to prosperity, and we're going to do an abundance meditation. And so hang on to your seat. It's going to be a great time. So again, the top consideration when selecting an agent or a real estate professional is not everybody is an agent on today, and that we're from around the country. So welcome everybody, and it's your relevant local and national expertise. So I'm going to start sharing with you some perspectives, and I would really suggest that you write down these, some of the things that you hear, write them down. And even though you kind of go like, oh yeah, that's right, or whatever, that by writing it down will help really internalize it, because you'll want to be able to talk to your children, your spouse, to your friends, to your prospects, to your clients about this perspective. And again, we're not here to talk anybody into anything. Everybody has their own beliefs, but we do want to be able to be the uplifter. And we're really all uplifters to the world. And so we're going to start though with protests and reform. And so again, that's how I'm positioning it. What it is, it's protests and there's reform. And so definitely reform is needed and happening. There's a need to be guided by virtues and behaviors by first responders. And in fact, yesterday I was with a commander, I was with two police chiefs, and I was with Dr. Rick Bradstreet, a police psychologist. And by the way, if you want to see all of us on a Zoom, it's going to be on tomorrow morning at 10. And I can give you that, and we'll do at 10 o'clock, will be about that, about that whole area of protests and reform, and really get some more understanding. It's really all about us understanding. And so that'll be very helpful. And then at 12 o'clock, tomorrow, we have health, wealth, and success. And again, that's for your list, to invite your list. And it's something to be able to talk about and to add value on, and to really help people to be thinking differently about the world. And so anyways, what Rick Bradstreet, the police psychologist, said is that previously that when you were scared, it gave you reason for deadly force. And so that is one of the changes, the improvements that we need. And there's always areas for improvements, but I want you to understand also that 99.99% of police officers, fire people, that all these first responders are just beautiful and wonderful people. It's this exception, if you will, that we're really managing. And I always think about Danny, that Danny Robinson is one of our agents, and he was a policeman, and he's the kindest man I know. And he's doing rock, and I just heard before the session today that he just got another deal, and he's got a couple $1 million worth of branches going, and he's just kicking it. So it's a great opportunity, and this is a great opportunity. And just to be clear, in real estate, the next 4 months are going to be the best real estate months of your career, as long as you believe that and just follow my guide here. And then I just want to reflect back again on Martin Luther King's the speech in Montgomery. And he said the hate and injustice in the old age is being replaced now with love and justice of the new. And that's why he says, I believe so firmly in nonviolence. And violence never solves problems. It only creates new and more complicated ones, and it will affect our unborn generations. It will be the recipients of that. And it really goes back to on this whole idea about whatever you focus your attention on grows. And so we have focused our attention on, the one really horrendous, terrible video that happened. And I told you last week there would be more videos. And sure enough, why? Because whatever we focus our attention on grows. And so sure enough, there's more videos. These police officers are so stressed out now. They don't know which way to think, to move, some of them. And again, that's why we're doing the Tuesday one or tomorrow's at 10 o'clock Central Time to help them with that. And so here's another example of whatever you focus your attention on expands, and COVID-19. And let me give you a couple of updates. As stated last week, there would be more cases. And so how do I know this stuff? Do I go into a magic little genie, a ball and be able to predict that? No, it's really easy. It's that more testing is being done. And so with more testing, there's more cases. Now, cases isn't the end of the world or the end of life. In fact, 99.99% of us are just fine. And so on who really should be cautious is about 80% now of the people with the mortality rate are 65 years and older. In fact, the national mean is 80 years old, which means half the people that are passing away are over 80 and half the people are under 80. So for sure, we want to take care of our elderly, but just know that this is just the flu. And again, and it's not here to talk anybody into anything. It's just, it's the influenza that there are way more, only 9% of the people that have died in America this year is from COVID-19. Okay, so why don't we could focus on the 89%? Where's that 89 89%, where's that coming from? But the fact is that if you do get it, 98.5 of us won't even know it or will have mild symptoms. Again, it's the flu, but it's just been blown out of proportion. It's all fine and good. But for us to give ease to people like, hey, kids don't get it. So it's okay for kids to go out and be with each other. In fact, they need to build their immunities. We need to build our immunities. In fact, we're doing live events now. On Saturday, we had a rocking time in our live event, and that's in Dallas. But if you want to have a live event anywhere you are in America, just let me know, and we'll make that happen for you. And I can be the co-host, if you will, and do all the talking, if you will, or if you want to, it's fine as well. And so again, this point here is 99.9% of us are just fine. Yes. And so there are, definitely improvements in reform that's going to be happen. There will be ways to improve everything with the COVID-19 and vaccines. And so just know everything is getting better. So now let's get into real estate, though, and all the exciting news and up-to-the-minute news. Like, you probably haven't heard this for sure all together in one on the cutting-edge news about what's going on. First of all, real estate is booming. It is booming, folks, and the next 4 months are going to be explosive. So I want you to have that mindset. And again, there's nothing fear but fear itself, that you can't get sick if you're not thinking about sickness and you're only thinking about health. And we create our own experience. And that's a whole nother topic, if you will. But just know that all is well and getting better. In fact, home prices have increased by 1.5% already. And so it's time to sell. So if you have, I had some people in Arizona yesterday that were sharing with me, I won't be able to that, you know, the people don't want to sell right now because of this coronavirus. Well, hold on, you know, that the world is opening up, that we've had more business. My agents some of my agents have had more business the last 3 months than they ever had. Okay, and so it's all a matter of your attitude and how you're going to take a look at this. But it is time to sell, and so and where are they moving to? Like, so I want you to think about your strategy here. And again, you should write these some of these ideas down and then review it afterwards and say, hey, what am I going to do? What feels best for me to go do? Well, more people are moving to the suburbs and small towns. And so think about, hey, do you got a suburb? Are you living in it? You know, what about small towns? That is where people are leaving the big city and wanting to go into these suburbs and small towns. Also know bidding wars are on. Yes, it's a seller's market. But at the same time, so we had one deal within the last week that had 5 bids right away. And I think I heard Danny say that, Danny, didn't you just have a listing and say you're going to sell it right away? Did I hear you say that right, Danny? Danny Robinson. I thought you had said that. Anyways, the fact is that when you have listings, they're going to sell. It's a seller's market. Now, it's also a buyer's market. Why? It's historically the lowest. The interest rate went for mortgage rate went lower than it ever has been. It was actually under 3%. I mean, historically, this is just like kind of almost free money, okay? Which means they can get more home. And remember, what the consumer is interested more in is, what is my monthly payment? Okay, so it's not, gee, how much house can I have, even though they want more houses and house, and I'll share about that but in a minute. But new home building is where some of the supply is. And we have one of our lead programs. So we actually have 5, 6, 7 lead programs. They all are just tremendous. We have 4 core lead programs that just have lots of heart, and they help first responders, new home builders, or a referral program where literally you can just boom your business. And we've had agents that just got their license 6 weeks ago, and I've already had 3 deals and are working on another 2 deals. So it doesn't matter who you are, that you can do it. And if you just stick with me and attend my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday events, that you'll see that it is great. And speaking of that, if you are in Dallas, Fort Worth, that our next event, a live event, is going to be Saturday, July 18th. So write that down, 11 to 1, Saturday, July 18th. And more details about that, but it'll be a rocking time. This last Saturday, we just really were flying with our angels. It was just beautiful. And so millennials, they're in the nesting stage, and 1/3 of millennials, by the way, are actually purchasing their second home right now. And it's a bigger home because they're into nesting. In other words, they're having kids, they need more rooms on that. So that's overall where we are with real estate. Now I'm going to give you a couple of listing tips. Really, this whole day is just filled with so much great information. And then if you want any of that information, I can email it to you. So you just ask me, hey, I need this, and I can send it. But listing tips. So don't, when you're talking to the seller, don't have them make any upgrades to square footage, okay, unless it's the kitchen. Then the kitchen is fine because they'll get their money back, if you will. And the same kind of normal things, use neutral colors and get the front yard looking spiffy. And so, these are just some typical things, but again, depending on where you are, just as a reminder on, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. Buying tips. Now, here's what they're looking for. And again, this is hot off the press. This is what the new buyers are out there looking for. And one of the things they're looking for is high technology in the home. So, it is, hey, what kind of technology do I have in the home? And am I all set up, with cable? And can I do all the different things that I want to do with my technology, from, it could be cameras to automatic, drapes going down to all kinds of different technology things. And so you want to be able to have that. And then, by the way, they're looking for more rooms in the home. Why? They need 2 Zoom rooms. And again, this isn't all people, but the whole world has significantly changed, and we have just been right on that wave, just flown with that wave and just right there with all the changes, looking for the opportunities, because all these things that have been happening in the world really are just opportunities, and for us, so changes just means opportunities, and we've been on that wave and riding the surf downstream to all of our desires. So they're looking for 2 more rooms. And so again, be thinking about, gee, people are looking for Zoom rooms. And then again, they're looking for the monthly payment. That's the number one thing that they're looking for. Now, initially when things were getting shut down, everything in February, I shared with you, now is the time to connect with your clients, because there will be a time you're planting seeds, if you will, in your prospects, in your list, in your sphere of influence, and you're building that for the harvest. And the harvest, folks, is here. And so if you haven't been doing that, that's okay. You can start today. That I want you to start, like today, I would say something like, hey, I'm going to just connect with 10 people. Okay, and just write down 10 people that come to mind. It doesn't matter if it has to do with real estate or not, but I want you to get into the flow of communicating with people. And by the way, if you're using Zoom to communicate with them, that make sure you're looking in the camera. If you notice, I'm looking in the camera and I'm not looking down at you, what I have found, and so again, just another little tip, and it's just tweaking your system a little bit more. But when you think you're looking at them in the eye, that in fact, it looks like you're not looking at them. And so, you want to, if you're doing Zoom. Telephone call, by the way, is still a darn good way to communicate. In fact, some people feel more comfortable with that because they do have to be looking in a camera, or they have to show themselves or whatever, and they had a bad hair day. And none of us know you have a bad hair day other than you, but that's a whole other story too. But here's some tips are for powerful sales communication. That, first of all, be there to educate, inform, and serve. That is the most important thing. So for them, I just gave you all kinds of education and updates on it to be able to just have a nice conversation. I wouldn't necessarily talk about these changes because, again, everybody has, but if they bring it up, you'll be able to provide your perspective, but you'll be able to more so provide your expertise in real estate. So, and change your intros that like when you first start, don't have it, be more real, be more personal, be authentic, just be who you are. Hey, how are you, man? And tell them what's been going on with you. If you've had, that, hey, it's been a little tough and I've been missing hugging and kissing people or whatever, but just be authentic. And that's what people are now more than ever looking for. And then think safety. And so, again, most people are in the mindset on, oh, I need to be safe. And so they have different ways of showing that. Safe may be that, hey, they're just going to think about healthy things, but safe may be they maybe want a mask or you to have a mask on. That just be considerate to others and think about this safety, because it is, remember I shared with you a couple of weeks ago that it's about clean, not green now. So green used to be the environment. There's still, you want to help the environment and everything. And by the way, this whole thing, one of the many beautiful benefits out of closing, shutting down everything is it's been really good for the world that we have even fresher air. And when you go walk in the park, and why don't you do this today too, later on today, whatever, take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, go walk in the park and breathe the deep air in. That air actually has antibodies in it to be able to create even better health for you. And then number 4, and this is really a powerful one, avoid opinion-based conversations. So if they have an opinion about it, then just, allow that opinion. And again, I would actually get away from some of the big changes that have happened in the world because, again, everybody has their different thing. And remember, 99.9% of us and circumstances that happen to us are just fine. It is this. this minority that that definitely we needed, improved. We need vaccines. We need to be kinder to people, more understanding and all that. But the media has blown it up to like this is 99.9% of what's happening, and it's not. Okay, it's a very, very small thing. So avoid opinion-based conversations, which is a great one. Now, I'm going to give you some steps here, and I actually have scripts. So I have 10 scripts that, and actually it's not there. Where are those scripts? Anyways, I have 10 scripts I can, I have scripts that I can send you, and it's basically for anything. And it's hey, what would you talk to a buyer, a seller, a prospect, whatever in today's age. Right now, and again, I'm loading you up with lots of information. I would suggest you write these things down. If you need a copy, ask them. But 10 steps for a magnetic live virtual tour. Okay, so you want to think about having live virtual tours. You're there with the camera walking through the home. And so I'm going to give you 10 tips on what to be thinking about on what they actually want, whether they've asked for it or not, and not to have any surprises if when they do actually see the home or whatever, that not to have any surprises. So you want to have them understand what the neighborhood is like. So before you even go on this virtual tour, have them go to Google Earth, and there's a Google Earth app, and they can actually see the home, and they can understand what it is. So if you're not doing this, that go to Google app, you check it out, go and Google Earth app, and that will actually take you right down into the house and, be able to see the neighborhood and be able to kind of understand what's going on with it. And so for them to look at it, because you don't want to do the virtual tour if they don't have any interest in it. And so then think about what the specific property looks like, sounds like from the street as you walk toward the entry. Consider close-ups of the lawn, about opening the doors, about the garage door, really get into the functioning of the home. And then another one is, how does the interior flow? So if you can, I do a floor plan, and if anything, just draw out a little floor plan the best way you can, and give a floor plan, again, ahead of time. So if you do Google Earth, they can understand the surrounding area, and then send them a floor plan, and then let them decide, hey, would you like to, see this based on that? What are the fittings, the finishes? For mica, can look like granite or quartz. It can look like marble. Laminated floors can look like wood. So know what they are, and then share with them on, hey, here this is, and to be clear, it's marble and not quartz or whatever that it is. The home systems like HVAC, a vacuum in every room, if you will, and that technology, back to that, what kind of technology, do they have? Upgrades, how's the water heater, how's the furnace, the fixtures, hone in on those details. How spacious do the rooms feel? So, take them in the room, get them and do a full, screen of the room, get them to have a feel for it. You want to impact all the senses for them so they can really have it. Will our furniture fit? So get room measurements, especially the sofa, the king size bed, the baby grand piano they may have. So depending if you're selling one of those $1 million homes. And then bathrooms. Bathrooms a big deal, and it's big enough to accommodate our family. Professional couple typically wants dual sinks in it, okay? That, of course, the kitchen, and what's the view like from the different windows? So there may be a curtain there closed, and maybe it's closed because when you open it up, it's a house 5 feet away from it. Well, you don't want any surprises. You want to share with that. So make sure you open up the curtains and, really be able to do that. And then what does it smell like? And so talk to them about, oh man, it smells so good in here. They must have just cooked some chocolate chip cookies or whatever. And so you want to just get them tied into, fall in love with that home. And so those are just some really good, common sense, great tips. But to be able to look at everything, a good breadth of areas that you have with that. So it's a lot of information. I want to open it up first before we go to the next part of our Mastermind Magnets and get your input and any thoughts. What did you like best? Any comments? Any other ideas and things that you want to talk about right now? So you can just unmute yourself when you want to. I see. Hey, Paula, I see you there, and so I'll call on you. And what was like a little aha for you, or a good point for you? Oh, you got to unmute yourself. Let me see. Where are you?
I said, well, I have a baby grand piano, but I don't have $1 million house.
I see that. Oh,
there it is.
God, look at that.
One of my prized possessions.
Wow.
Well, I love the Google Earth idea, and I love this talking about how good it smells.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And it's great. And again, it's just tweaking it a little. I look at this as like baseball players. Like if you're in college and if you hit 200, you don't go to the pros. Now, if you're in college and you hit 300, you go to the pros. And what did they tweak? They only got one more hit every 10 times at bat, okay? And so it's just tweaking that a little for like Paula to be able to say, oh, it smells like chocolate chip cookies in here, and everybody is just drooling away and they, man, I wish I'd have those chocolate chip cookies. So yeah, that's a great point. Thank you. And Marco, what did, or Ryan, are you gonna say something there?
Yeah, I would just share, like, those are all good points, but I would just highly encourage anyone, like, there's just so much that you cannot see through video and through whatever you're doing. And I'm not saying not do that, because I think it's super beneficial, but people need to go through the house at some point and take precautions, whatever they feel comfortable with, to, and whatever the listing agents or listings that you're going into, you follow whatever procedures. But I feel like there's just no way, because a camera may not pick up a crack in the corner, a crack above a door, or something to do with foundation. You're not going to be able to get every single detail.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I kind of think about it like, okay, so you get a place under contract and you're in the inspection period. Like, would the inspector be able to go out there on a Zoom and do that? No, there's no way he would be able to do that, to test all of the things that he needs to test.
Yeah.
And it prepares the buyer for what's coming up and what the home actually does look like. And are you going to be able to
Ryan,
every little detail within the house? No, but it's something I think that, hey, yeah, all this is great, virtual, doing all this, it's super wonderful technology, but you have to go inside the house. And I have actually done this before, where I have gone under contract with people who haven't seen the house. And in my 11 years of being in real estate, I've never seen it work, ever. Because what ends up happening, they come and they look at it and they're like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah,
never seen it work. So, I mean, do whatever you want. You got to follow your intuition and your heart on that, but
I did an open house 2 weeks ago for another agent, and I completely agree, because the pictures of the house looked fantastic. It had a lot of rough edges.
Yeah.
Like a post that had been painted but not sanded. About an inch at the bottom of the front door where every cricket or garden snake could come in the house. I mean, just some real rough edges that you would have never seen in the video.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with you, like, that we need to use our senses, but there's also, like, I swear, with everyone who's ever bought a home, they always have this, like, sixth sense feeling. Nothing they can even put their five senses on. They have a feeling about the house.
Yeah.
It's just the house that they're going to feel comfortable with living in for the rest of their lives, or for a period of time. And they have this feeling of connection to like the spirit or whatever within the house, and it just makes them feel good and makes them feel comfortable. And once they go inside the house, they can see themselves living there, and they can feel themselves moving about, going through and doing all the things within the home. But without, and it's just it's one of our innate natures, is just being able to determine that for ourselves when we're present.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
We're not fully present when it's on video.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that can be altered within video that doesn't get to our sixth sense per se.
Right.
Because I've had people like look at homes on pictures and videos and they're like, man, and they get there and they don't like it.
Yeah. So the solution then is we always look for solutions and answers that based on that, a wonderful input. It goes back to what we talked about probably 3 months ago on let's get them in the house. And if they are concerned with this clean, safe philosophy, that's where we ask the seller, hey, open up all the doors, turn on all the lights. We'll only have a few people in there. We'll do social distancing. And so I think the point here is let's get them. Your first stab at it is, hey, you really need to see this in person. And that, if they just refuse to do that, or if they're out of town, we've had some closings where they never even saw the house other than, because they were out of town and did it. And so, there are those situations. But if you do need to do on video, those are some points, to be able to think about. Great input. Marco, your thoughts?
Yeah, Dr. Hank, just pretty much, I'm in agreement with Paula and Ryan about what they were saying before.
Yeah.
About, really showing the houses to the prospects or your clients. It happened to me once where, and it was months ago when the market was really hot, still around December. Yeah. And I had a client that lost 3 houses. They were bidding worse on some houses, so they lost 3 houses. And one of them they saw on one of these third parties, like Realtor.com, websites like that. So they saw that house there, and they said, Ms. Marco, I need to see the house. Please put in an offer for me. I said, I will, because ultimately that's my job, to obey them. But I said, but you may want to see the house. So they ended up seeing the house later on that night, and it was that night. And I was fortunate enough to go ahead and schedule for the appointment. Mm-hmm. As soon as they walked into the house, I could see the reflection on their faces. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, I didn't waste time by writing out the contract. Yeah. But it is for their benefit. Yeah. Their benefit before anybody else to see the house. Now, virtual tours. I think I've gotten 1 request to see a virtual tour.
Okay.
In about a month.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I really liked that you said was, where is it? That it's about clean, not just about green anymore, and I think it's true. Yeah. Yeah. It's about cleanliness nowadays. And that reflects on, there are some homeowners that are requiring people to fill out the COVID-19 notice, which I have, given to a couple clients. That's a process in itself, but yeah, you're right. It's about clean, not just about green nowadays.
Yeah, right. Yeah, great. And again, just for us to be considerate and thoughtful to others, and and behind all of this is really the most important thing, and that is for us to pre-pave in our minds how the call is going to be, how the showing is going to be. That we need to identify how do we want it, and identify it. And you can't be thinking, oh, this person, they're so stubborn that, they won't take a look at it. Because if you say that, then they're going to be stubborn and won't take a look at it. But it's this idea of like, oh, I just love that I talked with them and that they're willing to see the home. Because again, there's nothing like physically being there. And we started out that, all of us, need that human contact. And, they have reports that human contact has been decreased by about 50% now, and it's impacting the children and whatever, and so we really want to be thinking about, hey, how do we want it, and to start calling it the way that we want it. And so with that let's move into let's create some more prosperity in our lives. And so the number one way, we're going to do the number one way for you to get prosperity. We have lead programs for you. We have the best training in America for you. You have all my mindset. You have my magical sentences. And by the way, the magical sentences, that there's one magical sentence I had printed out a bunch of them for our Saturday event. And Helica come to me afterwards and said that magical sentence that she said, that I'll give you later, that she said that created for her husband immediate within 3 days, that he had a job that right now is like half their income, because of just out of the blue it came. So if you want prosperity, just follow my lead here. And I'd like you to just get really calm and relaxed, put both feet on the floor. And I'd ask that you close your eyes. It's a great way to get into the kingdom within each one of us. And, they have talked about breath, and breath in the Bible, meaning spirit. When they say spirit in the Bible, it's actually your breath. And it's the fastest way for us to connect with our source, with God, with our higher self, with that bigger part of each one of us. And so I'd like you to breathe, and this breathing is deep breathing. And so just follow my lead here and breathe in 5 seconds, really heavily. And then breathe out for about 5 seconds. And breathe in. And breathe out. And just say to yourself, relax. We're going to become magnets now to prosperity and abundance. I'd like you to just ask yourself to quiet your mind. God can't speak to you when you're chattering. So we just quiet our mind and we relax. Breathe in and breathe out. And when you breathe in, I want you to breathe in all the way down to your toes. Breathe in and breathe out. And follow me now. In and out. Very relaxed. The meek shall inherit the earth. And we become meek, we become quiet. We listen to God's thoughts flow into our mind now. Oh, it just feels so nice as we are gently being guided into this relaxation. We now open up the crown of our head, the top of our head, and just allow the white liquid love of God to flow into our bodies now, and to flow into our minds and give us just magical, beautiful thoughts of abundance and prosperity and peace and well-being and love and joy, just flowing into our mind now. And this white light of God, this loving light now goes into our top of our head, into our forehead, just relaxing our jaw, relaxing our neck, relaxing our shoulders, relaxing our arms, allowing the beautiful, loving, white light and energy, God's love to flow down our arms and out into our hands, through our fingertips. Breathe in deeply. Just relax. As you relax now your throat, relax your lungs, relax your chest, relax your stomach, all of your organs. Very relaxed and at ease now. As that white, loving liquid light flows into all of your organs, your kidneys. It's feeling so good, so healthy, so wealthy. And now allow that light to go down to your hips, on your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet. And now on the count of one, you are completely relaxed and at ease. 1. And you feel the presence of all that is, of the Lord flowing into your mind, your feelings, and every cell of your body. You were born to succeed. The infinite with all you, within you, always succeeds. Divine love guides our life now. Divine peace fills our soul now. Divine love saturates our mind. Infinite intelligence guides us in all our ways now. God's riches flow to us freely. We are advancing and moving forward and growing mentally and spiritually, financially, and in all wonderful, wanted ways. These truths are now sinking within the kingdom within us, within our subconscious mind. And we are becoming healthier and wealthier and more successful and happier than we ever have been. You were made in the image and likeness of God, and you are the God child. God is guiding you now into your true place of joy and freedom and abundance for you and for your family and for the world. Breathe in. Allow God's breath to breathe into your body. Breathe out. And now have that liquid love flow into your heart and open up your heart and give yourself love now. Send your love to you. Now send that love out to each other, to each one of us. We send our love to each one. We send our love to our families, to our friends, to the world. God's love fills our soul and God's peace fills our mind and heart. God prospers us in all wanted ways. We are at one with God, connected, tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to God's love, support, and guidance. Prosperity is now yours forevermore. These thoughts are the seeds of goodness, truth, prosperity, and beauty for you now. These are the plantings of your glorious life. And you can now expect your harvest to overflow in your life in magical ways. Your business is growing. Your relationships, your connections, your referrals, your closings, your money, it's all flowing to you now. in miraculous and wonderful ways. Things are coming to you out of the blue. We now are flying high and at one with our angels. We ask our angels to go gather all of our desires, all the things that we desire. And they are off now to the races, just loving to fulfill your every desire, your every wish, your growing business. More prosperity and wealth flows into your life now like a mighty mountain stream. You are the blessed one. You are the dear and loved one. You have now made a habit of thinking these amazing and beautiful truths. And now with your subconscious mind, it creates the kingdom within, creates your new life experience from here on out. It's a beautiful life, a magical life. And we're just in the flow of life now. Feel yourself feeling so good, so free, so happy that you smile more, you laugh more. Together we smile more, we laugh more, we sing more. Joy is in our life because this is how we are now asking for it. We know that whatever we don't want, that just helps them burst these new marvelous ideas of what we do want. And we go there now. We're in the stream, we're at one with all that is. And for this, we give thanks. And we so appreciate God's riches now flowing to us in new and amazing and magical ways, that we deserve this. This is the way we want it. And we now skip along on our lighted path, knowing that all that we have asked for is coming to us now. For it is forever active and forever present. And so it is. Amen. Breathe in deeply. And I invite you back into the room. And I invite you back into our Zoom. I feel good, like I knew that I would. So good, so good, so good, so good. I got you, baby. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. Yeah, so nice, so nice. I got you, babe.
No singers today.
All right. So what did you like best about that?
You put me to sleep. So relaxed.
Oh, that's great. I have Commander James McCormick was on a couple weeks ago on, and he's becoming a real estate agent now because we're giving first responders career opportunities. And he called me, or he texted me about an hour and a half later after the Wednesday event, and because I did a meditation on that, and he said, I just woke up. And so, yeah, any thoughts, comments about that? What did you like best about that? So let me just share with you some prosperity thoughts, and then we'll do a little sing-along at the end, and then afterwards we'll stop the recording. But if you want to talk then afterwards, if you have any other questions, comments, you maybe don't want on the recording, that we stay afterwards to have even more fun. You to maybe if you want to write down any of them, or again, if you want this list, I have this list, I can give it to you. But here's one: wealth is forever flowing into my life now, and there is always a divine surplus. I love that word, divine. God opens the way to my prosperity now in divine ways and through divine love. So, and God opens the way to my prosperity. So that could be God opens the way to my business. You know, you can replace prosperity if you want to. God opens the way to my business now in divine ways and through divine love. I'm now open to receive an ever-growing business. And so your subconscious mind has no problem with that. You are open to have an ever-growing business now. By day and by night, I'm being prospered in all ways. And see, the more that you keep it general, that way, remember that the Father does the work. So we just have to ask for it. And then amazing thoughts will come to you, ideas will come to help you with that. As someone asked me for, gee, I want more business, I need more leads. Of course, they were asking me in a way they were really praying for, I don't have enough business, okay? And so you got to watch which side you are, the wanted or the unwanted. And so one of the most effective way to get more business is by day and by night, I attract more and more people who want what I offer in real estate. That's a magical one. I love this one, and just two more. I have received a fortune now. And so then your subconscious mind goes, you have? Oh shit, I better get going. And you'll find your fortune. Suddenly you'll have your fortune. And again, your fortune is in business and money and happiness. Really the whole idea of everything is if you'll just be in joy. And I'll give you an example of that this morning I did my the kind of thing in bed where I just get at one with God, and then I prepaid my day the way that I wanted. And I just was so joyful. I just jumped out of bed. I couldn't wait to get going. I'm just like a little boy running out of bed, all excited. And so I didn't specifically say on what I wanted in some of the events. One of them is that I sit out with Bella on the porch in the morning, and I just look at the clouds and the grass, and I know there's all kinds of animals around. I'm on the 15th floor on a porch, so there shouldn't be any birds or anything like that. And so I'm just petting Bella, and because I'm in a state of joy, the universe has to give me more joy, okay? And give it to me in joyful ways. So I never asked for it, but all of a sudden I see this beautiful eagle flying, and it is just doing these magical, it's like it's doing a show for me, okay? And it's just flying and doing all kinds of things. And then all of a sudden, and I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful. And then there's 5 birds that come in kind of unison and are following this hawk. And I'm just like, this is just so fantastic. And I said to myself, how does it get better than this? And that's a great question to ask, because it's asking really for more. You know, how does it get any better than this? And all of a sudden, a mourning dove comes and lands like 4 feet from us. And Bella and I are looking at that bird, and that bird's looking at us. And then I say, oh, I love you. And it just looks and kind of, you know, moves around all happy, and then off it flies. So it's just magical. And that's what this life is about, to appreciate all the magic that's in it. But if we have thoughts about, oh, I don't have enough this or this virus or, you know, that thing, that what happens is then you just get more of that kind of stuff, okay? And the last one is, and this was that magical sentence I shared with you that brought the money and has brought literally, I don't know how many people in the world more money and abundance, but I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am prepared to increase my income now. That is a magic one. So if you want to increase your income, you just say that, baby, and you're there. So any thoughts about that? Comments? Before we do our little sing-along? Any other things? All right, so get ready to sing. Here we go. We like to laugh and have more fun. We like to laugh and have more fun. As we increase our income.
As we increase our income.
Abundant mindset is our new game.
Abundant mindset is our new game.
And money is our middle name. And
And money is our middle name.
Middle name.
You can watch our blessings rise. You
You can watch our blessings rise
Blessings rise.
as God gets us to magnetize.
as God gets us to magnetize.
Woo-hoo! All right, everybody. Well, that was fantastic. Again, if you want to, if you're interested in hearing from just first responders and kind of where they are, and a story, it's actually called a cop story, and you're going to hear a story about a cop and kind of get into their lives and understand where they are. We're going to have a panel then on July 1st, actually, that we're going to do too. But tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and if you want more information of that, I have it. And then tomorrow at 12 is our health, wealth, and success. And again, what our experience has been is when agents are with me, the more often they're with me, the higher their vibration, the higher their point of attraction, and the more good things happen. And the heavens will just part. And the only reason why is because you're feeling good. And because I feel good, I just kind of rub all that on you. So you're like a genie, and rub that genie. And the good thing is you have more than 3 wishes. In fact, you have an infinite number of wishes. And it's all about rubbing that genie to where you feel good. And with that, I love you all. We'll turn off the recording, and then any other thoughts and things you want to talk about, we're there. So for all of you, we wish you all the best. Know that everything is coming your way now. And if you just start thinking more and more about these thoughts we talked about today, it is only possible for you to have your life even better than what it is right now. Love you all. Bye-bye.